Number 1, Taiwan is not a country. Did he just say what I think he said? Taiwan has the biggest balls in Asia. Is that fact number 3? No. The world as we know it today simply couldn't exist if Taiwan was to suddenly disappear. This lockdown is driving me crazy. Now, I know that it's not a full lockdown, and we here in Taiwan are still lucky enough that we can go outside to exercise. We can even go and meet friends in small groups of 4 or less. And in fact, I even had Prozzy over to the apartment last week to watch the football, which was fun. Was that it? But being the very sociable person that I am that thrives on human interaction, these level 3 restrictions here in Taiwan are sending me deeper and deeper into a darker black hole of loneliness. Not to mention how it's affecting the content on this channel and making it nigh on impossible for me to get out and explore the culture and share different foods with you guys. So I basically spend most of my time sitting on my settee, thinking of video idea titles that I can film here at this desk and then never bother making them. But today I'm going to run with an idea that popped into my head just this morning, and I'm going to give you a list of 10 things that people don't know or people don't tell you about this awesome little country and living a life here. And although I'm aiming this video at foreigners that have maybe never been to Taiwan, I would love to know if any of my Taiwanese viewers knew already, disagree or agree with any of the 10 points that I'm about to make. So if any of the facts surprise you, then by all means let me know in the comment section down below, and while you're there, give that like button a little bit of a kiss with your finger, and on your way past the subscribe button, grab hold of it, and maybe a little tickle of the subscribe button for good measure. But yes, let's discuss some lighter, maybe unknown facts about Taiwan, and also mix it up with a couple of more hard-hitting personal experiences that show a different side of life to Taiwan than one may expect. Number 1, Taiwan is not a country. Did he just say what I think he said? Yep, I said it, and according to the United Nations, ever since 1971, Taiwan has only been recognized by them as a Chinese state. And if you know me well enough, you'll know that I, along with a high percentage of the Taiwanese population and people all around the rest of the world, that is absolute horse. Our own passport, government, president, currency, armed forces, and most importantly, our democracy tell a completely different story. Just as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Taiwan's independence is too in our eyes. So if me and Mrs. Tai say that we are a country, then we are a country. Just to be sure, the point I'm trying to make in point number 1 is that Taiwan is a country, but the UN don't recognize it as a country, and we don't care about that. We are a country. Point number 2. Many people are aware that Taiwan legalized same-sex marriage a couple of years ago. Long overdue, if you ask me. But I think many people will not be aware that Taiwan so far is the only Asian country to have done so. And if you take a look at this map, you'll see Taiwan right there in the middle of a load of countries where same-sex marriage is still illegal. Do you know how much balls it takes to stand up in a crowd of people, surrounded by those people that don't agree with you, don't follow the same path as you, don't believe that what you are doing is right? Taiwan has the biggest balls in Asia. Is that fact number 3? No. But yes, Taiwan has so much strength and independence to be able to stand up against the other Asian countries that proclaim to be progressive, claim to be very multicultural and accepting of others, but still Taiwan is the only country in Asia to have legalized same-sex marriage. I was certainly surprised when I saw this map, and also surprised to learn that only 29 countries around the world have legalized same-sex marriage, of which one is Taiwan. So well done to those countries for standing up for what's right, and well done to Taiwan for being the only one in Asia. Number 3 is going to be a more personal fact, something I certainly didn't know about before I came to Taiwan, and that's the fact that foreigners, especially Westerners, are treated here like heroes. It may be a controversial, quite arrogant thing to say, but I think the way that foreigners, Westerners are treated here is just too much. Yes, my haters will claim that without this special treatment, my channel wouldn't be successful and would be defunct. May be true, but that only serves to prove my point. What I wish is that yes, I can be a successful YouTuber here in Taiwan, but not because I'm just some random British guy, but because I'm the British guy that people want to listen to, the people whose opinion is more considered and thought out than some others, and of course, because of my sick, badass editing. Point number 4, Taiwan's population is almost the same as Australia's population, which brings me on to point number 5, in that Taiwan can fit into Australia this many times. We are almost half the way through now, so make sure you keep watching to the end of the video as the points only get juicier and juicier. Talking of population from points number 4 and 5, point number 6 is going to be the fact that Taiwan's indigenous population makes up only 2.3% of the entire population of the country, split up between 16 different officially recognized tribes, some of which only have several hundred surviving members. There are 524,000 indigenous citizens still living within the country, and some research shows that some of them have been living here for as long as 6,500 years. And I have to say that the videos I make about indigenous populations and indigenous foods and cultures have been some of the most fun, interesting and educational videos, simply due to the way that the indigenous people live their lives so differently to that of the non-indigenous population here. Point number 7 is a political one, so get your keyboard warrior fingers ready to start typing out those sour comments into my comment section. But Sun Yat-sen, Sun Zhongshan, forgive my pronunciation, who is also known as the father of the nation, someone who many people look up to, some don't. It's not a political video, but I was super surprised to learn that the father of the nation had only visited Taiwan 3 times in his life, despite the fact that his portrait still hangs so proudly in the government buildings, courthouses, schools. I know some people have differing opinions on various different politicians from Taiwanese history, so although this isn't a political video, please use the comment section down below to educate me on what you think of this particular fact. Number 8 brings us right back to my personal feelings, and in stark contrast to what I said in point number 4 about foreigners being so popular here, I feel it's a very little known fact that those very same Westerners can be some of the loneliest people living in the country. Yes, this point has been included because it's fresh in my heart after some recent goings on in my life, but also when surrounded by Taiwanese friends, co-workers, or even sitting on the settee with your Taiwanese partner watching TV, the loneliness can hit you like a ton of bricks sometimes. I recently had a conversation with some friends about the difference in Chinese between 孤单 and 寂寞, alone and loneliness, and we kind of agreed that they don't always go hand in hand. I guess that's true of life in any country, whether you're an expat or a local, but the huge language, culture and food differences combined with the really long distance away from family, not to mention a devastating relationship breakdown in the middle of a lockdown. Well, all of these things combined can lead to a real feeling of loneliness for people that you may think are quite popular even if they have 240,000 subscribers on YouTube. Second to last point now, and make sure you keep watching to the end of the video for the final point, which I promise is going to surprise you. But for point number 9, it's a pretty embarrassing one for my home city of Taichung, and that's the fact that the power plant out in Longjing district outside the city is the largest coal-fired power plant on the planet and is the world's largest emitter of carbon dioxide. It produces more than 40 million tons of CO2 every year, which for comparison is around the same amount of CO2 produced by the whole country of Switzerland. I've included this one in the list because yes, maybe everybody knows Taiwan's pollution is bad, but I was certainly surprised when I found out this particular fact, that it's the biggest in the world, and I felt that this fact kind of quantified it and showed really how bad the pollution can be. It's actually just over there, and you can see today is a bad day for pollution. We can't see the mountains on Dadu. And for number 10, the last final point that I want to introduce to you, a point that many people don't know about Taiwan, is that Taiwan is the best country in the world. Well, Taiwan. No, I wouldn't do that to you guys. But I am going to make a rather big, audacious claim about Taiwan, and that is that the world as we know it today simply couldn't exist if Taiwan was to suddenly disappear. The world as we know it today simply depends on tech and computers. Everything from world logistics, industry, manufacture, finance, and day-to-day business relies on computers that run on silicon chips that were made by the big semiconductor companies right here in Taiwan. And just as the world over generations past has relied on oil-rich countries keeping that supply of oil coming in order to keep the world moving, the world now relies on Taiwan to keep this supply of semiconductor and silicon chips coming. We are so far ahead of competing countries that it would take them hundreds of billions of dollars and decades to catch up if a company like TSMC suddenly stopped producing silicon chips. So it is no exaggeration to say that the world would be screwed without Taiwan. No cap. But there's my 10 facts that I believe many people don't know about Taiwan. Let me know in the comment section which of them did you already know, which ones do you have an opinion on, and of course if there's another fact that you think the world needs to know, then add it to the comment section for people to see. But that's it, time for me to get back to the settee and think of some video title ideas that I will never make. So as for now and as always, see you next time. My life in Taiwan. Peace, bye.